EMIS? EMIS means Education Management Information System. And this unit serves to provide the housing for the education information throughout the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The operations of the EMIS have an annual cycle where we submit questionnaires to principals and collect school information. This information can range from anything to attendance, enrollment, teacher qualification, inventory, stock what's there, and also in recent times, ICT and teaching materials. We know that in the past that September, October has not been a pleasant time for principals. And Mr. Marston, I'm sure, would validate that oftentimes this is a very troublesome times in schools when these requirements are asked for. More so, it has been a very painstaking and, of course, paper-based. What the EMIS, what today says is that EMIS has functioned over the years, and today marks a new step is in that we are taking it from being paper-based to being electronic. And so today, we mark the first step in the launch of the online EMIS, or the Online Education Management Information System. So exactly how will this EMIS, online EMIS solution work? How will it work? Well, just for starters, imagine that you're a teacher, principal in Dietbe Primary School, and you have collected your school information. This teacher will enter it on a local machine in Dietbe. However, as he or she enters the information, it will be accessible from any point in the world, but especially at the central office, the EMIS office here in Basia. Each school will be responsible for entering the information. The great thing about this system is that you don't have to be in the school to enter your school's information because, of course, it is online. And so a teacher who is feeling very energetic at 11 p.m. in the evening at home may very well want to add a little information to the EMIS situation, and that is very permissible. And so the access to the interface through the ministry's web portal will be available to all schools within the Federation. Each school will have access only to the particular school's information. And so if you're in, per se, Keon Primary School, the principal at Keon Primary will be able to view all of the Keon Primary files. The principal at Maurice Hillier Primary School will be able to see the files submitted by Maurice Hillier. But no one school will be able to access all of the schools. Who will be able to do that? Of course, the central office, the ministry's central office. We will be able to extract, analyze, manipulate the data to look at trends, to look at how we are advancing, to see where teachers are. And so the EMIS really is a benefit not only for the school, at the school level, but also at the ministry level. Some of the extensions that we intend to add, because currently we do the basics in terms of collecting information. We do things like nationality, enrollment, of course, students, places of residence, addresses, staffing and staff qualification, and as I mentioned before, the use of ICT and ICT equipment. But we expect to include functionalities such as behavior monitoring, health information, and of course, financial information. And we know we need this in these days of great limitation in terms of resources. And so who will benefit from an online EMIS? Well, most certainly the students will benefit, because even now, as we look at students, many of the decisions that we make oftentimes is not based on information. And an EMIS provides us that kind of basis to make decisions for deployment, for support. And so the students certainly will benefit. The parents also will benefit. And we think that it's really a great thing for parents to be able to stay at home and find out, what grades is my ward receiving. Now, of course, this is not to substitute for the parents' visit to the school. Let me say that again. Having access to your child's information online does not say that you should not visit the school, because we really want parents to continue to visit the schools. But what this does, it enables the parents to ask some very specific questions when they're able to visit the teacher. More so, they can get feedback rather than seeing at the end of the year and finding out that their child was doing well in subject A and subject B. They're able to monitor and see how their child is progressing. Who else will benefit? Of course, the teachers. Because one of the things that the ministry has always contended is that we need to be able to award those who are working so hard. And certainly, an EMIS system gives qualifications and teacher updates, and so we are able not only to deploy them appropriately, but also to recognize teachers who are working hard and doing well. In addition, the EMIS will strengthen many of the projects that we have already implemented, including the teacher appraisal system. And so, for teachers, there are great benefits to be derived from an online EMIS
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me say that the EMIS project is for the most part focused on managing the human, material, financial, and information resources that are available to the education system. And it promotes the use of technology as the primary vehicle for a successful management strategy. Now, I believe and wish to humbly suggest that efficiency in management should be our motto. But to faithfully adhere to this motto, we must work to optimize our resources by eliminating waste, preventing duplication, and avoiding unnecessary delays in our decision-making and in the implementation of programs, projects, initiatives, and activities. Efficiency in management encourages a high level of professionalism and competence in carrying out our assigned responsibilities, and it also introduces in our education system the requisite mechanisms, including the use of appropriate technologies to help streamline operations. I wish to argue, and I'm arguing today, that in the 21st century, good management of our resources requires that we be transparent in our operations. In this connection, it is worth reminding ourselves that good work ethics is built on openness and not on keeping things secret. Sharing and dissemination of information without favor will help to improve many of the daily processes that are integral to the smooth functioning of our education system. Making information accessible to all relevant parties and stakeholders is central to increasing and strengthening our knowledge base, boosts our productivity, and cutting costs. These objectives can be accomplished by harnessing and optimizing the use of technology. Good management of our resources in the education system should emphasize accountability. We should always bear in mind that a high proportion of the resources placed in our care from the taxpayers. Hence, we are obligated to be accountable. Essential requirements of good management include making those who work in the system accountable for their actions, accountable in respect of the level of their performance, and accountable for those they supervise. All of us are stewards in the education system, and it is incumbent on us to be always ready to provide credible answers to those whom we are answerable. Good management ensures that resources are allocated equitably, so that no area, no region, no district, no division, and no schools are placed at a disadvantage. Showing preference over one region versus another or one school over another are practices that do not comport with good management. We should avoid going down this road. Good management is also about the application of fairness and justice at all times and in all situations. I wish also to argue that good management of our resources ensures that a system of evaluation that measures progress or lack thereof is put in place. It is right that we have a robust evaluation system that will reveal how well people are doing or how poorly their efforts have been. It is not possible to accurately assess how well our education system is serving the student body without having a system that points out what works, what does not work, why some outcomes are good and why others are bad, what adjustments are needed, and what reinforcements are to be made in order to make the situation right. A system that measures productivity and rewards successes comes from the bowels of good management. And so in summary, therefore, good management in the context of the resources allotted to us is about promoting efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Good management ensures equitable allocation of resources, and it embraces a mechanism that measures and evaluates progress and rewards those who meet agreed performance standards.
Now, today is an important day, not only for us who are here today, but for the entire Federation. I believe that many of us did not believe that this would happen, because this idea was conceived many years ago. Planners led us from 1997, but conception has taken place long before that planner. And sometimes the conception period was sometimes discouraging. And while we waited and so on, and the concept was developed and so on, we waited for the gestation period that seemed that it would never end. And so all of the difficulties, all of the challenges and so on delayed the gestation period. But I'm happy today that again the OECS through Mr. Green came to our rescue. Put your hands together for Mr. Green. He does not also all just contribute to things like these, but he's worked with us for a long time in early childhood. Is not so, Mr. Green? Yes. And everywhere there was a class setting, Mr. Green would be there. And I was wondering why Mr. Green coming to all of these things here all the time. But he was not only coming to look news. He was coming to see how he can help us, boys and girls. Mr. Green, you need to stand, let the boys and girls see you. Stand again, let them see you. This is the man I'm talking about. Put your hands for him, who helped us in many ways. Yes, in many ways. And it's not for him, and maybe it's not for us, boys and girls. It is for you, who we are preparing to lead us out of the struggles we find ourselves in. And sometimes we fuss at you when you don't do your school work because you want to prepare you, Nicole. You want to pray not only to sing, but to do other things in education. Yes, smell, Nicole, and me and you can happen, Nicole. And we must give for the necessary support, and not only Nicole, but all our students in the Federation. I don't care how they look. I don't care what people say about them. Our responsibility is to look at every individual and give them necessary supporting activities to help them along the way. And so I don't want to get too excited. So I'm going to take it easy.